And good Saturday afternoon, everyone. This is Chief Meteorologist Sam Lane with the National Storm Channel with an update for you on the severe weather as it's developing across southwestern Oklahoma and portions of north central Texas. We have one severe thunderstorm in effect for the Oklahoma area, and then I'll show you another storm down in Texas in just a moment. But first, let's talk about this storm that is in southwestern Oklahoma right now, moving out of Stevens County. Here's Duncan over here. This is Stevens County, moving to the east-northeast. And so, folks, over in Elmore City, you're in the path of this particular severe storm as it continues to move your direction. We can also see several hail reports here with this storm when it was down close to Meridian just a few moments ago, just south and east of Empire City and north of Comanche. That's Comanche, the city, not the county. But between Elmore, Empire City and Comanche, some hail reports there. And that's probably the hail core right here, very near the community of Velma. That's going to move over towards the east-northeast. So folks in Dougherty, Ratliff City, and Tatums, here's Tatums and here's Ratliff City, and also Elmore City, you're in the path of that particular hail core over the next half hour. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Garvin County, which is here. It does include Pauls Valley, also a sliver of Murray County, and also the northern half or sliver of Carter County. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect for that particular cell. All right, and if we throw on let's take a look at the velocities just real quick to show you. We're not really seeing anything rotating with this storm at this point in time, just some gusty winds near Velma on the current radar scan. All right, now, there are some storms that are developing that are becoming rapidly severe and also has what we call the flying eagle shape to it. You can kind of see how the yellow here divides into, it looks kind of like scissors here. This is the flying eagle, and this is usually indicative of rotation developing with the storm due to precipitation sorting and so forth. And I'm going to take a little bit different view of this storm, get a better perspective. And there you can see a little bit better view of how diffluence aloft causes precipitation sorting, and so you get this flying eagle shape on the radar. And usually right back in here is where we look for the potential of rotation. And this is just to the east of Aspermont. This is down in Texas and just to the west of Rule. In fact, let's take a look at the velocities. And there was some rotation showing up earlier. And yeah, it's still there. Right here where you have strong winds blowing towards the radar and red blowing away from the radar. So right there is a rotation and also another rotation developing out ahead. So this one's probably an older rotation that has occluded and is now being drawn back into the core of the storm. And so this rotation may be the one to take over. This area is under a tornado watch. And so the conditions are favorable for tornadoes in this area. You can see where a little bit wider perspective. Here's Wichita Falls, here's Abilene. So this is the area that we're concerned about the potential for tornadoes, even tornado watch out for southwestern parts of Oklahoma as well. Now, as far as northeastern Oklahoma, nothing going on right now. We do expect that to change over the next several hours. You can see on the Inola radar just some cloud streets aligning with the wind flow right now. Also some scattered rain in southeastern Oklahoma, LaFleur County, McCurtain, also Pushmataha County. This actually may help lessen the severe weather threat down here because of the clouds and rain will kind of inhibit the instability. Also, these storms are starting to move into areas that are drier, and so there's not as much moisture for the storms to work with. In fact, let's take a look at some of the temperatures. Right now, you can see temperatures are in the 60s down in southeastern and south central Oklahoma. A little bit warmer up here in our part of the state where we've had more sunshine. 69 in Tulsa right now, 69 also in Bisbee. Notice 80s, upper 80s in fact, out in northwestern Oklahoma. And you can see down in southeast Oklahoma, temperatures are still only in the 50s. So it's kind of hard to get really nasty severe weather with surface temperatures in the 50s. Now aloft, it's a little bit different story. We can still get severe thunderstorms, but they're mainly hail producers at that point. Here's a look at the dew points, and you can see what I mean. These storms are getting ready to move into areas that are drier as far as dew points, not as high dew points. 53 in McAllister, 52 in Stewart, as well as Holdenville, even some 40-degree dew points in Tallahena and in Worcester. So as storms start to move into that environment, would not be surprised to see these storms weaken as they move into southeastern Oklahoma. Now we have lots of moisture out in western Oklahoma and southwest Oklahoma, and of course that is where their highest risk of severe weather is going to be for this evening. In fact, let's take a look at some of the warnings. Here's the tornado watch in yellow. That includes Kiowa, Comanche, Cotton, Tillman, Jackson, Greer, and Harmon counties. And here's the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Stevens County. It hasn't updated to show the Garvin, Murray, and Carter severe storm warning. In fact, let me update that for you. There we go. So now you can see the severe thunderstorm warning here for South Central McLean, Garvin, Murray, Northern Carter, and the rest of Stevens County. But the tornado watch is primarily for southwestern Oklahoma, and then of course a large segment of northeastern parts of Texas. All right, let's take a look at the satellite view. You can see mostly fair skies across northwestern Oklahoma. Storms are now starting to fire up there as well in the latest few pictures there. So we're going to have to watch this area pretty closely too. And notice you can also see more storms developing down in southwestern Oklahoma. Here's the upper level storm system that's pulling out into West Texas right now. So wouldn't be surprised to see more severe weather develop across Texas and of course south central and eastern Oklahoma later on tonight. The primary threat is going to be the large hail, gusty winds, an isolated tornado or two is possible, especially in southwestern Oklahoma and north central Texas. So that's what we're going to be watching for over the next several hours. In fact, let's take a look at some of the hail reports that we've had. First, I wanted to show you the Storm Prediction Center severe weather risk. You can see in the yellow here is where the slight risk exists. That does include communities like McAllister, Ada, Stillwater, Enid, Woodward, and Point Southward. Does include the Oklahoma City metro area as well. And here's the enhanced risk area in the orange in far southwestern Oklahoma extending down into Texas. Here in Tulsa, well, we have a marginal risk of severe weather, and also Muskogee. Now later on tonight, this risk could expand further to the north and east, and like I said, the primary threat would be large hail, gusty winds, heavy rainfall, of course, lightning, and maybe an isolated tornado or two, mainly caused by what we'll call QLCS type tornadoes, where you have strong thunderstorms producing a squall line, and sometimes you'll get vortices that form along the leading edge of the squall line, or bookend vortices where a mesocyclone kind of rotates in. And so those are the kind of tornadoes we're talking about. The larger tornadoes, or the more, I don't want to say more deadly tornadoes, because all tornadoes can be deadly, but the really nasty tornadoes are likely going to be down in southwestern Oklahoma and not here in northeastern Oklahoma. But we're going to have to keep an eye on it very, very closely. And then tomorrow, the big threat of tornadoes is going to be shifting eastward over into Arkansas, Louisiana, especially Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. But there's even an enhanced risk for LaFleur, McCurtain counties, slivers of Sequoia and Haskell counties. That's for tomorrow. Even a slight risk of severe weather for eastern Oklahoma. So it looks like our part of the state is going to have the significant severe weather potential for tomorrow. And so we're going to have to watch that very, very closely. Now let's take a look at some of the hail reports. Let's see. Nope, I'm going to have to do that in a different method. So I was going to show you some pictures. Very small hail falling in the Duncan area when these storms passed by earlier. Let's go back to the Oklahoma City radar. Pull down in here. And you can see that there's two cells here. Here's the one near Ratliff City. Also this one up towards the north and west to the east of Marlow, but this is not severe. It is kind of in the severe warning box, but this is the strongest storm by far. The one near Ratliff City, now approaching the communities of Tatum, and then eventually on over towards Elmore City, and then eventually Pauls Valley, Paoli, and Wynnewood in the next hour or so. Stay with us and we'll keep you advised right here at the National Storm Channel.